I'd like to read to you what Edward de Bono said a few years ago. He said, "There is no doubt that creativity is the most important human resource of all. Without creativity, there would be no progress, and we would forever be repeating the same patterns." These are profound words, but absolutely true. Because it's creativity that gets you to the edge. It's creativity that opens your eyes. It's creativity that sort of makes you see the future first. And I think the essence question here now is, but what is he talking about when he talks about creativity? Now, I've said many, many times, and I've written about this in many, many of my books, that there is no doubt in my mind that young children have that spontaneous creativity. Young children, and I've studied them and I've looked at them and I observed them, they have the spontaneous creativity to seek, to find out, to discover, to ask why questions. But as they grow older and we observe them again and we study them again, we see that this huge, call it amount of creativity, this huge explosion of creativity seems to just fade away. And when they get to the age of 10 or so, there's this terrific slump where we don't see it. So what De Bono says is that we've got to get our creativity back. We've got to start a deliberate process to just get it back, because otherwise we remain ordinary. You know, what also Torrance said to me many, many times, it doesn't matter if you're a qualified engineer or a lawyer or a teacher or whatever. If you don't add creativity to that work that you do, you will stay ordinary. And we do not want to stay ordinary. So let me just maybe elaborate a little bit. I see creativity as in kind of two categories. You have what we call general creativity. The kind of creativity you need everywhere. The kind of creativity when you drive your car to get out of a difficult situation. The kind of creativity when you talk on the phone to someone. That, you know, that different idea. Be interesting, be different. The kind of creativity that you have in a discussion with your children and so on. The general kind of creativity that we all need. But then there is a specific kind of creativity. The creativity that you need in the work that you do. The creativity as a teacher that just makes you stand out, that you present your material, your information in interesting, fascinating ways that the teacher next door can't do. That's specific creativity. The creativity of an engineer, where you're able to design and see patterns and see images, and other engineers just can't see that. So there's this specific creativity that you need in the job that you do. Now, where do we begin? Where do we start to get empowered in a sense? Remember what I said, Torrance and all the geniuses that went before us talked about that it's trainable and it is teachable. And I know, I went through that process. And I have a life, I would always say a life before creativity and tolerance and a life after that. I think you start with asking the question, what skills do I need to develop, to eventually call myself creative? I think that you start with a skill that is called fluency. I think that there's consensus about that. Because fluency is about ideas. And you cannot ever call yourself creative if you don't have a lot of ideas and many ideas. So you start off by ideas. So fluency means many ideas. So you would train a person to use techniques, approaches, methodologies to eventually come up with hundreds and thousands of ideas. And I've seen this happen. It is not difficult to teach people the techniques to eventually come up with so many ideas. Where we travel in the world and we start with groups and we start to train them, there's consensus here too about this, that if I give a group a little problem to solve, let me maybe take a glass as an example. If I say, what can you do with this glass? And then we would get 10 to 12 ideas maybe in 10 minutes or so. That's general. But after a day or 2 days of focusing on techniques, how can you get all these ideas out of your brain? Because there are millions. We see in a day or two how that 10 or 12 ideas that can grow to hundreds and to thousands of ideas. And I've seen this happen in children and in adults. So that would be the first skill, to develop many ideas, and that will assist you everywhere. It doesn't matter what you do. The second and the third skill, to me, go hand in hand. It's flexibility and it is originality. Flexibility means that you can come up, that you can generate different kinds of ideas. Now we need to understand the difference in between fluency and flexibility. Fluency, many ideas. Flexibility, different kinds of ideas. Let's take the glass again. If I were to ask you what can you do with a glass, and you say to me, I can drink water from this glass, I can drink beer from this glass, I can drink coffee from this glass, I can, and so you carry on. That many ideas. But that's the same kind of ideas, drinking from this glass. But if you say to me, yeah, I can drink from this glass, I can put sand in this glass and plant a little plant in this glass, I can turn it around and use it as a hat for a doll, I can put it down and stand on it and reach higher, I can even break it and use it as a weapon, and so I carry on. Flexibility, different kinds of ideas. And as soon as you train your brain to go into that flexible mode of thinking, the third skill, which is originality, which is new ideas, just seem to start emerging. So I would say start off with fluency, many ideas, and understand how to move to flexibility, and eventually to originality. And there are many, many, many techniques that one can learn. It is not difficult to eventually call yourself a creative person because you got all those ideas.